Let's start.
Okay, welcome everyone to yet another midweek magic session. I think it's been almost 5 months now since we have been continuing, and the good part is we have not even missed a single Wednesday since then. So, cheers to us and cheers to everyone for making it possible. Okay, so, for the new people who do not know, Rapid Mile has been there for almost 18 years now, and we have been focusing on trainings related to mind power, law of attraction, silver ultramind, anything which helps improve mind power and makes this earth a better place to live. So, and today's presentation would be given by Dr. Anila Damodhar. She is an expert in law of attraction. She's been taking our trainers training for almost 8 years now, and she has groomed 50 plus trainers herself to teach law of attraction. So that's a really good job, Dr. Anila. So she'll be taking today's session, and the topic is also very interesting. It's about the physical clearing. And Anila, what was the name of the slogan which you've given? The side effects of physical declutter. So
Yes.
we'll get to know the side effects today. What good things can happen to you?
Yes.
Okay, so now to you, Anila. Please share the side effects.
Thank you, Shaz. Wonderful. May I request everybody to mute yourselves? Right. Thank you so much. But I would like to see your faces, so don't go away, okay? Do turn on your cameras if you're able to. All right, let's begin. Thank you so much, Shaz, for that wonderful welcome. And yes, I feel honored to be a part of Rapid Mile. So, this is another one of our offerings from the Rapid Mile trainings, the Midweek Magic Club, which has been going from strength to strength. So happy to be a part of it. Once again, hello, everybody. I am Dr. Anila Damodhar. I am a medical doctor by profession. A lot of you here know me already, so I'll cut this really short. But it is my passion to teach about the law of attraction to anyone who's willing to learn, to absorb, to implement, and to take charge of their lives. Because that's what the law of attraction does. All right. Now, as Shaz was saying, what is the title of today's session? Yeah, it's a very interesting one. It goes something like this: Decluttering Ke Side Effects. All right, so that's the title: Decluttering Ke Side Effects. And in the following 30 to 40 minutes, we are going to learn some very interesting things. First of all, decluttering. What is it? Secondly, what's the best way to do it? And lastly, I will give you some side effects. That's for sure. All right. So, first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking out time from your busy schedule and being here this evening, right smack in the middle of the week. And so, it is my promise to you that I will do my best to make every moment count. Today is going to be a real fun session. It's going to be light, it's going to be interactive, and within all that fun is also going to be hidden some very deep wisdom. So, something that we can take away from it today. All right. So, today I am going to bring all my experience as a woman, as a homemaker, as a medical doctor, and most of all, as a law of attraction trainer to this table. All right. So, beginning with this, I would just like to tell you, and I think you should be very clear about this, that there are actually many types of clutter. There is physical clutter, there is mental clutter, there is emotional clutter. But today, here in this session, we are going to be focusing mainly on physical clutter. All right, the mental and emotional clutter we will take in another session. So, is everybody ready to learn? If you are, please say yes in the chat or unmute yourself or put up your thumb, something or the other. I'd like to know if you are ready.
Yes.
Yes? Wonderful. That's all. Only three, four
Yes.
names. What about the
Yes.
rest of you? Yes, yes, yes? Good, good. Because we are here to learn. All right. So I'm going to start this session with a question. My question to you is this: what is decluttering? What is decluttering? What do you understand by it? Either speak out one by one, or you can type it in the chat, whatever is comfortable for you. What is decluttering? What does it mean to you?
Removing the block.
Removing the block, okay. What else? Cleaning up, yes, all right. Some more answers? Does everybody else? Putting things in order to help you retrieve anything quickly. Very nice, Bhaskar. Yes, get rid of things not being used, organize. Cleaning up and organizing, Nalini. Yes, wonderful. You already know it all. So we can end Midweek Magic Club, Shaz. I think they already know it all. There you go. Yes, I can see that you all are very, very clear, at least about the definition. All right, but I'm going to tell you a little more things that might be very interesting to you. So let's bring this all together and make a working definition for decluttering. Decluttering is defined as removing clutter or removing things that no longer serve us. In other words, useless, unnecessary things. So, what is clutter? What is clutter? Here's another question for you. Would you like to answer this? What is clutter? What does clutter mean to you? Anybody? Type it into the chat, please. All right, Vijay, negative thoughts. All right, but today we're talking about more about physical clutter today, Vijay. Blocked things, unused, unnecessary things, too much stuff, yes, waste and useless stuff. Definitely, definitely. All of those things are correct. You're absolutely right. Okay, good. The pile of objects in my personal space. Yes, Keisha, definitely, definitely. So, what is clutter? Clutter is basically old things, broken things, dirty, dusty things, unused, unnecessary things that we keep with us, useless things, things that basically do not serve us anymore. Okay, that is clutter. But then, how did it get there? How did it happen that we have these piles of clutter in our house? How does it come? Well, for one thing, we are all very fond of buying things and acquiring things and getting new things, isn't it? We all love it. We see something nice and attractive, we'll go and grab it and bring it home. That's one way we do it. Unfortunately, we are not very good at disposing things, of releasing things, of getting rid of things. And so, when that balance is all awry like this, it is only natural that those piles are going to build up, isn't it? Now, why can we not release all these things? Has anybody thought of it? Does anybody have any ideas? Why is it that we cannot release this clutter? Even though we know that it is unused and useless and unnecessary, why can't we get rid of it? Any ideas? Yes, Balramji, you have said it so beautifully. Nalini, you also. We get attached to these things. Kisha, perfect. There's a fear of lack. Vijay, you also said it. We feel we may need it later. You're all correct. So let's organize this and put it into a few points. One of the reasons we find it very difficult to let go of these things is because we become emotionally attached to them. In my kitchen, I have one dosa palta. The handle is broken, and yet I don't want to throw it away. Why? Because I think that that's the only dosa palta in the world. No, actually, I feel that it is. I'm not going to get another one like that. I'm sure we all have things like that. We get emotionally attached to our things, isn't it? Secondly, we think that even if I'm not using this thing right now, sometime down the line, it is going to be useful for me. छोड़ो अभी नहीं फेंकते पता नहीं कब काम आएगा है ना we keep holding on to things kabhi to kaam aayega don't throw it away don't throw it away keep it isn't it unfortunately that kab kaam aayega often gets delayed and many a time it absolutely doesn't happen so here we are building up piles of things that we think are going to be useful later but they turn out that they are not going to be useful at all and yet we find it very uncomfortable to let go of those things. There's another reason why we find it very difficult to release things. You may have heard this being said, Are, I have paid good money for this. How can I release this? Have you all heard it? If you've heard this statement, please say agree in the chat. Have you heard somebody say, No, 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 please don't throw it away. It cost me money. Hannah? Yes, a very common one actually. Yes, it happens. Even if that thing is broken, dusty, dirty, like my dosa palta, you know, right? It happens. In fact, we don't even want to let go of those old newspapers. We've read them cover to cover. They've given us headaches, and yet we pile them up in the corner. Are, I paid money for this. Kaam aayega. I will line my shelves. Now, how many shelves do we have that we're going to line? But that pile just keeps growing and growing and growing, isn't it? So, these are some of the main reasons why we don't release things, why we find it so difficult to release things. But what is the result? What is the result of all of this? The result is that those piles keep growing. We live amongst those piles of unused, unnecessary rubbish that we are going on collecting. And not only in our home, we collect it in our car, we collect it in our office, we collect it on our office table. Everywhere we go, we are busy hoarding and collecting and hoarding. And we're just not talking about getting rid of it. Eventually, a layer of dust comes on top of that. Maybe more than one layer, many layers of dust come on top of that, right? Sometimes it even comes to the point that we go and open a cupboard and things start falling on our head, isn't it? I'm sure there's a cupboard like that in almost every home. I know in my home there is, so I'm speaking only from my own experience. Please don't feel bad. I'm not speaking for everybody here. I'm sure you all are very organized and clean about your own home. But, anyways, coming back to the point, the result is that we have piles and piles of things that are unused, unnecessary, and they're just taking up space in our life. Now, we all desire beautiful things, isn't it? Beautiful new things to come into our life, right? In so many of our workshops, we have you all write down a list of your desires. And inevitably, in these lists, we will see beautiful objects. Maybe a new TV, a new car, a fridge, beautiful clothes and shoes, a beautiful clean home. So many things are written in those lists, right? But if you were to buy all those new things also without releasing anything old, what's going to happen? Imagine that. You will one day be overtaken by the clutter because even those new things will come and become clutter in your life. Now, let me give you an example. Now, lockdown has pretty much finished in our country over the last few months. And I'm sure that some of us have gone with our families to a mall, right? Now, when we get to a mall, somehow, I don't know about you, I always start feeling very hungry because that cookie smell is really amazing, right? So I suddenly start feeling very hungry. And so I say, okay, we'll do our shopping later. Let's first have something to eat. So the mall people are very smart. They always put the food court on the top floor. And so off we go to the elevator to get to the mall, to the food court by the fastest route. Punch the button and the elevator comes. And I see that everybody else had the same idea. Why? Because the elevator is packed. The elevator is packed. What has to happen for me to get from where I am to the top floor? What has to happen? Especially through the elevator, not the escalator. Huh? I'm too hungry. Remember that. Any ideas? What has to happen? Anybody? No? Well, some people have to come out of that elevator for me to be able to get in. That's the point I'm trying to make here, right? Somebody has to come out, only then I can get in. Or here's another idea. All right, maybe this will be more clear for everybody. Now, we've been working from home, or at least we're pretending to work from home for the last, what, almost 1 year now. Isn't it? We're almost 1 year old in that department. And for some reason, there's one particular piece of furniture which has really, bore the brunt of work from home. Do you all know what it is? It is our sofa or our couch, as most people call it, because much that we promised ourselves, unfortunately, most of our time was spent on the couch. And therefore, there are now permanent craters in our couch. And so now that this work from home is coming to an end, we have decided we are going to go and buy a new couch because that is just not presentable anymore. So off we go to a furniture shop and we go and select a beautiful couch and we say, this is going to look beautiful in my home, right? So we go, we pay, and we come back home and they say we're going to deliver it. Now, what do you need to do before that new couch comes in? Please feel free to answer in the chat or unmute yourself and shout it out. What
Old
do
one to
you?
be old one to be removed.
Yes, absolutely. The old one has to go, right? We need to dispose, clean up that space, and make space for the new sofa to come in. Right. So up to now, you all are with me? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So now here's what we have to do. All right, let me show it to you through a little slide. Can you all see the slide?
No.
No, not.
Yes.
Shaz, is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Wonderful.
If anyone is
Yes,
not
it is.
able to see the slide, you
No,
can
no,
pin it
no,
for
now it
me.
is okay. Visible, visible. Physical
Visible.
clearing. Yeah.
There you go. So this is what we have to do. We have to start clearing our physical space. Okay? Now there is a simple rule that I follow for myself. Dosa palta notwithstanding, for most of my things, okay? 99.9%. The thing I do is this. If I have not used something for 6 months to 1 year, chances are that it will never be used. And therefore, that has to go. All right, so that's rule number one. Rule number two, I always divide my things as I clear my home. I divide it into three piles. One is things I'd like to keep with me. The second pile is absolutely useless, battered things that I need to get rid of in the garbage. That means throw them out. And the third pile is those things which I feel I don't need them, but maybe somebody else could utilize them. All right, so this is what I do. I divide it into three different piles. Now, with these two rules, I recommend that you clean up your house. Start small if it is very big and daunting for you, but start cleaning it up. Take out things that you do not require and get rid of them. Move on to your car. Do you know that we collect a lot of rubbish in our cars? Old bubblegum wrappers, plastic bottles that are no longer being used, tissue papers, clean and dirty, plastic bags, all sorts of things. Start disposing of those things. Next, you would like to hit your cupboards. Empty those out and do as I say. Keep the things you want and need, the rest of it get rid of. Papers, do you know? It is very interesting how we hold on to papers. By papers, I mean things like old receipts. You know, that old gas bill, electricity bill, telephone bill from 20 years ago? Really, it is of no use now. We also hold on to closed bank account papers, old insurance policies which we have closed maybe years ago. Things like this. They are of no use to you whatsoever. Get rid of them, release them. They're of no use. Magazines. You know, honestly speaking, we can really read magazines only twice, maximum thrice. After that, it is a great idea to either cut out those pictures and make a vision board or else give them away to the recycling so that they can make paper bags out of them. We all have piles and piles of clothes that we no longer wear. They may not even fit us. You know, honest confession, I had a pair of jeans that I used to wear in eighth grade. And I lived with the dream that one day maybe I will fit back into those. But you know something? I was a different person when I was in eighth grade. It will definitely not fit me. And so, thank goodness, I got rid of those. I highly recommend you do the same thing. Move on to your shoes. Ladies, especially you, we have a tendency to collect footwear, which is rather frightening considering we have only 2 feet and 12 months and 52 weeks. Uh, I don't think we need that many shoes. Move on to your plastic bags. Now, we all know the environmental hazards of throwing plastic bags around. So, no, don't throw these away. Use them and reuse them and then only get rid of them. The same applies to empty boxes. I'm sure you can give it to the recycle man because Amazon could definitely recycle their boxes. We are one day going to be buried under those Amazon cardboard boxes. I promise you. Lastly, and I want to spend a moment on this, get rid of those stacked up newspapers. Do you know something? It is on a very rare instance that you will see something positive written in a newspaper. They are generally filled with lots and lots of negative news, and therefore they are not good for you. All right? You should get rid of newspapers as soon as possible. They serve no positive purpose whatsoever in your life. So these are the things that I would recommend how to go about decluttering your home, your car, your office, etc. So this is a little bit about how. But now we come to the most important part. Why? Why do we need to declutter? Especially our physical surroundings. All right? Why is it important? Reason number one, everything is energy. Everything contains contains energy, it holds energy. Let me give you an example. Just this weekend, I was presented with a beautiful bouquet of fresh, fragrant roses. I went and decorated them on my dining table, right? They're looking gorgeous. Now, what is that? That is an example of positive energy. Whoever looks at them will feel uplifted, isn't it? Flowers make us all happy, aren't they? But I promise you, and this is what normally happens, after 10, 12 days, those flowers are going to wilt. They're going to die. The fragrance is going to be finished. And at that point in time, they're not going to give any positivity to anybody. In fact, that is an example of negative energy. You see, everything around us, because it carries energy, whether it is positive or negative, affects us. Think about it. When we look at dust and dirt and cobwebs, when we look at old broken objects, dried up plants, what kind of energy do you feel? Definitely negative energy. This is stagnant negative energy. It is just standing there, taking up space. Now, this on its own is a block. This is a block. Why? Because it is actually standing in the way of you receiving beautiful positivity in your life. All right? Right. Now, Sujata feels that we should use pressed flowers for crafts. Yes, Sujata, definitely. Unfortunately, not all of us are able to do that. All right? But thanks for the idea. The point is, negative energy or things that create negativity are blocks in our life. They stop the positivity to reach us. All right? Reason number two, why is it so important to declutter? Here it is. You know, your outer world is an extension of your inner world. It is often seen that people who are living in clean, organized surroundings have organized thought processes. They are generally very organized within themselves. All right? Our thoughts are very powerful. They are creative. They carry energy in them. You see, wouldn't it be better to create wonderful, organized futures rather than chaotic, confusing futures? So it starts with that. Start by decluttering your physical surroundings. They will affect your thoughts. Next reason. Now, before I move on to that, yesterday was a lovely festival, especially celebrated in the north. It was called Basant Panchami, right? Basant Panchami. Basant Panchami is the advent of spring. So after a long, hard, dark, and cold winter, suddenly spring comes in. And how do we spend the day? We tell people go run outside, fly kites, have fun in the warm sunshine with the blue skies. Inside our homes, we cook yellow rice to celebrate the golden yellow sunshine. What we are saying is we are celebrating springtime, a new day, a new season, a new beginning, right? That is the meaning of springtime. So I recommend to all of you, push back those curtains, open up those windows, let some fresh air, let some uh, sunlight into your home because that is positive energy. Do you know that there are many countries where winters are extremely long and they're very, very harsh? And people have to live indoors with artificial heating and lighting. And many a time, people start coming to doctors with something called SAD, SAD. It stands for seasonal affective disorder. And basically, the symptoms are that of depression. But as soon as springtime comes, those symptoms go away. That is how important fresh air and sunlight really is for us. So when we do these things, we are allowing positivity to enter into our home and replace the negativity with positive energy, with joyful energy. All right? So that is the meaning of spring. Now, here is another reason why it's so important to declutter our home. And in fact, this I feel is the most important reason. And that is this: by decluttering our physical environment, we are making space for all those wonderful things that we desire to come into our life. We are opening up ourselves to receive. And that, in my opinion, is the greatest side effect or the greatest reason why we should declutter, to make space to receive. Now, we're not only speaking about material possessions. When we make space to receive, it is for new ideas, new insights, new opportunities, new experiences, are definitely a new way to look at things, a new perspective, fresh perspectives. This is what you open yourself out to. So, in other words, it is a powerful, powerful process to allow the positivity to flow to you, to allow the abundance to enter into your life. It is a powerful process. Here is another side effect. Do you know that when we get into the habit of decluttering, and by the way, I recommend you do it every 6 months, when you get into the habit of easily releasing old things, old objects, very soon it will become very easy for you to declutter mentally and emotionally also. You understand that? They are all interlinked. You are one person, one being, whether it's physical, whether mental, emotional, spiritual. When you release on a physical level, you come into the habit of being able to release mentally and emotionally things that no longer serve you. What are those things? Old, practiced, habitual thought processes, old beliefs that pull you back, old emotions that are only hurting you, emotions such as anger, bitterness, resentment. These are the things you come into the habit of saying goodbye to forever. So that is another side effect. And lastly, but not least, as you declutter, you are left with a wonderful, clean, organized, beautiful home that will automatically lift you up and lift up anybody who walks into your home. You'll feel happy and peaceful and healthy and joyful. Those are the things that will set you up to receive beautiful things in your life. So these, my friends, are the side effects of decluttering. So let's get started. Roll up your sleeves. Get everybody in your family involved. Don't try to do it all by yourselves, but please do it. It is very rightly said, cleanliness is next to godliness. I repeat, cleanliness is next to godliness. You are preparing yourself. You are aligning yourself to be more receptive and to allow abundance, prosperity, peace, good health, and positivity into your life. This is the reason why decluttering is done before any major festival like Diwali, like Pongal, like Christmas, like Eid. There are numerous others which I have not mentioned here. This is the reason why, so that you are open to receive the wonderful blessings that are flowing to you every moment. So there is deep wisdom hidden in this simple practice. Thank you. That's all I need to say.
Thank
Thank you
you
so
very
much.
much, Dr. Nila, for the insightful session. It definitely gave me some fresh ideas to throw away things. In fact, today morning I was telling Dr. Anila that whenever I shift my house, I have a intention of giving away or throwing out at least 100 kgs when I by the time I move into the other house. And every time I actually achieve this 100 kg target. So that's actually very commendable job. Okay, and there was one another trainer I had a discussion with, and she gave me a very good idea, and I have been following it for quite some time. Uh, as per her, we can throw 5 things daily from our house, and that 5 things daily can be small stuff also. Okay, something like a toffee wrapper. If you find it somewhere, you're throwing it. So it doesn't have to be big stuff. It can be just small stuff also. But so when we have a habit of throwing 5 things every day, we get into that mode of decluttering ourselves. Okay, Dr. Balram sir, what are your thoughts on it?
See, decluttering is creating a vacuum, and the law of nature is universe abhors no vacuum. The moment you're free from the garbage, the new things you are allowing in. Shad, before we go ahead, I'd ask some very good question in between, just in the beginning. Somebody, Anila ji, आप भी सुनिए, somebody written, okay, why not to throw out the clutter people also, and the people those who are nice to us? That question I find we all three can answer.
Right, though it's not a part of physical clutter, but yes, it's the question is toxic people should also be removed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So definitely those people should be removed. And what I feel, it's all about our state of mind. Once we are in a positive mindset, the toxic people start getting removed themselves. So we don't have to really work hard towards them. They just start disappearing. What are your thoughts, Dr. Anila, towards it?
Actually, there's two things. First of all, I completely agree with you, Shaz, that when we change our own level, our own emotional state, automatically the toxic people will start vanishing out of our life pretty much automatically. It's quite an interesting thing to see. And allow that to happen. That's absolutely wonderful. Second thing, yes, when I was telling you about the things to clean out, it is always a good idea to clean out your phone also from time to time. All those unnecessary chats, maybe certain contacts that you don't really want to maintain and retain. That is also a good idea to get rid of that. So both ways, I would say yes. It's a great idea to get to move away from the toxicity.
Definitely. In fact, our phone has become our physical desktop by now.
Mm.
Balram sir, what are your thoughts on the toxic people?
before I go ahead, I would like to know the question once again.
Okay, the question is, should the toxic people be removed also?
My God, how you can even think of? See, the people, those who are around you, are always the near and dear ones to us. You can keep them away physically, but what about mentally? They're going to cause the more havoc on your life if they're removed like this. The only thing, anything you find the world around you is toxic. Maybe the people. It is all the your inner reflection coming out. The only thing what we always suggest all of our trainers, That acceptance is the only way. The more love, the more caring, concern, cooperation, love to them is going to make the life comfortable not only for them but for as well for us also. I think the thought that we should remove the toxic people is absolutely absurd thought, rather I can say. You should never ever think, because such people, ऐसे लोग हमेशा ही हमारे लिए हमारे लिए उनके मन में दया, रहम, करुणा होनी चाहिए। बिकॉज वो लोग कहीं ना कहीं अपने स्वभाव और संस्कार के वशीभूत हैं, और ऐसी आत्माएं, ऐसे लोगों को हमेशा ही प्यार की जरूरत है। वी हैव टू मेक आवरसेल्व्स मोर अपलिफ्टेड इन सच अ वे दैट दे easily get something from us which can make their life definitely better. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Balram Bhai, for a different approach altogether. And yes, I do
This is
agree
the
with
only
you.
approach. This is the,
I
I mean,
agree with you. Toxic. In
I will
fact,
not. Yes, yes.
yes, there's one thought which is actually an important thought, that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if there's a toxicity inside, it comes outside as well. And that's what you attract from outside as also. And the other thing is, yes, people would try to harm you from other world. So, and I personally feel no person is completely good or completely bad. There are certain, if I consider myself to be good, there are certain bad points as well, and vice versa. If you consider somebody as a bad person, there would be certain bad points in him or as well. Maybe a person treats you badly, but the person may treat, the same person would treat his or her son uh, nicely, or his or her mother nicely. Okay, so everybody has the good and the bad things. It's just that what do we trigger out of that person. Okay, so the thought is, if we are aligned, uh, the toxicity would not even show off in other people.
Yeah.
Shadab, one line can I add here, please, Anila ji?
Please, Balram bhai.
अच्छा है या बुरा है, सब आपका कर्म है, कर्म भोग है। Nothing comes by chance. It is only the result of your karma. So we have to accept it.
Okay, so Anila, you want to say something? I can see.
I would like, all right. My take on karma is quite different. And in fact, I think as many people as there are, that many different takes will be there on karma also. All right. We often feel that karma is only actions. However, karma also includes our thought processes and whatever is going on within us. And it is an absolute agreement with the law of attraction, as in what it is that we are giving out is exactly what we're going to see outside of us. Therefore, our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And so coming back to the toxicity, yes, if we are seeing toxicity outside, that means it exists within. So what is the answer again? If we were to take the same thing, change yourself from within, and that will vanish. Change your own thought processes, your own emotions, your own vibrations. Those toxic people, yes, they're there for a reason, to teach you, to show you that mirror, that something has to change. And so when we are able to change that, and decluttering on physical, mental, and emotional plane helps us to raise ourselves up. And so those people vanish. All right. It's not that we have to physically pick them up and throw them out. It is about how we can change ourselves so that that does no longer exist in our life. That's my take.
Great. Thank you, Balram Bhai and Anila. And for the new participants who do not know, Balram Talreja is a very experienced trainer with us. He has experience of almost 30 plus years now, and is a very experienced trainer in EFT, in yoga, and mind power related topics. Now, let's move to another question. Any other question you have?
Sujata is asking for classification of decluttering, the second rule.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Sujata, would you please clarify? I don't quite understand what you mean by the classification.
मैम आपने बताया था ना कि पहला तो ये है कि जो हमने 6 महीने या 1 साल तक नहीं यूज किया उसको निकाल दें। उसके बाद आपने कुछ बताया था वो मैं पूरा समझ नहीं पाई।
जरूर जरूर।
जी
मैंने ये कहा था कि मैं तीन कैटेगरीज में चीजों को डिवाइड कर लेती हूँ। एक वो कैटेगरी जो मैं चीज रखना चाहती हूँ अपने लिए, जो मेरे यूजफुल है, मेरे लिए यूजफुल है। सेकंड कैटेगरी इज दैट इज सो in such a horrible situation or condition that it is better that it be disposed in the garbage. And the last one is things that can be utilized by somebody else. So these are the three things, the three piles, so to say. It makes it easy for me. Okay?
Great.
यस मैम थैंक यू मैम।
You're welcome.
Any more questions? You can write it in chat or you can unmute yourself and ask.
I will ask one question to Balramji. Whether this karma and destiny, are they related? I mean, destiny can be changed through karma, or karma falls in line with destiny.
See, karma is nothing but the law of attraction. What you sow that you reap. What goes comes back. What you give you get. See, everything in the life from the birth is the reward of your karmas only. Nothing comes by chance. Everything is the result of your karma. The world which we see around us, effect, but the cause is what we give. You getting my point? And one thing I would to add for the previous question also is suppose anything around you, any person with you, to whom you find as a thorn in your life, they people are actually for you to grow from within, but choice is always with us. Either to the more suffering for us or looking around the circumstances which are not favorable to us. We can definitely, with what my life says, with 30 years of yogic practices, meditation, I've seen the people who had come to my life as my karma's effects, but I took the initiative, rising up myself in our own consciousness. Then now I can see the same people are the truly blessings to me from the God side. You can really turn the world around you. You're getting my point?
Hmm. Okay.
Great. Thanks, Balram Bhai. In fact, this is what my take is. There are certain things which it's uh, it's important for ourselves to explore rather than asking questions and listening to the answers. Like Balram Bhai would be sharing from his experiences, I would be sharing from my experiences, Anila would be sharing from her experiences, and experiences can be different. And so would be the interpretation of those experiences. Okay, for example, if I say there is God, it would, if I say there is God does not mean that you also have experienced God. Okay, you would need to do or experience it yourself. Similarly, there are certain questions like destiny, like karma, like law of attraction, like God, or devil. So we would need to explore the answers ourselves, and that's the quest of our life. That's the journey we live to live, and come up with those solutions, those answers ourselves. Okay, and
That's true. Yeah.
true. Mr. Vijay Kumar has mentioned Gautam Buddha said that no outside action can affect you if you don't want. The control is with you for not accepting what you don't want. But in real life, we do get influence. How to avoid this? Dr. Anila, would you like to answer this?
Definitely. In one word, alignment. You get into alignment with your highest self. As long as you are in alignment, nothing outside of you can affect you. It is a process. You have to learn it and you have to practice it. All right. There are certain simple things that you can do to get into alignment. These are meditation, gratitude, affirmations and visualization, but mostly meditation and gratitude. You see, when you are in that state of mind, you are in direct contact, or should I say, in alignment with your inner being, or source, or God, or divine, whatever you choose to call it. When you are in that state, in your highest level of consciousness, nothing that you choose can affect you from outside.
Great. Thank you. Balram Bhai,
Yeah,
what's your take on this?
See, the Patanjali, according to the Ashta Angas of Patanjali, the second is the Yama Niyama. Niyam, it says one of Niyam is Swadhyay, self-study. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Sixth, seventh, and eighth step of Ishtangas is Dhyan. Sorry, Dharana is the starting of meditation. Dhyan is meditation. And the end of meditation comes with Samadhi. Samadhi means a state where the sadhak feels the inner bliss and the true joy from within. Once you attain the state of the mind, Patanjali has called it the state of Samadhi. Samadhi means Samadhan Ajana. Once you get uplifted, as Dr. Lida quite rightly suggested, it's the alignment. The more you get aligned, the more you rise in your own consciousness. Gradually, things which were previously a question to you will be appearing to be will automatically appear to you with the answers, and all your issues will be gradually resolved. The only thing what I always persist it is tell that practice, patience, and persistence always do will always do. So the solutions to your problems are resolving your issues in the life. These are personal experience, and every day I'm experiencing in one or the other way. Because because once you're uplifted, then the answers come from within. You got the best partner in the form of Jani within you, and that is nothing but the God's hand to you, God's company to you, keeping you guided in all always in the divine order to make the life truly lawful, blissful, fully contented, and as you can say satisfied. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Balram Bhai.
yeah, I think one more question.
Yes.
Doctor, Anila is one thing, this prioritizing, decluttering, you did not say anything about, because in decluttering also you'll have to do some prioritizing. For example, I will tell you, I have a cake oven in my cupboard, kitchen cupboard, but I use it once in a year only during Christmas and New Year. I can't just throw it out, just tell you that it's 6 months old. So
All
there
right.
comes the question of prioritizing, yeah?
Of
Decluttering
course.
also, right?
Yes, of course. If you are using it every 6 months, every year, obviously it is of value to you. No, don't throw out everything. I'm not saying completely empty out your house. I'm saying things that you are not using and you're unlikely to use. That is counted as clutter. It's taking up space.
Anilaji,
Okay?
can I add
Thank
this
you,
here?
thank
Can
you.
I add here?
Of course, Balramji. Go ahead.
You see, in this case now, if the things are not used frequently, but you can take it in a while and so lovably clean it, feeling gratitude about it, I think that can not only add the life to that particular thing which you cannot depart with you, but whenever it is used, it will give you more of utility to you.
So right. Just like
That's
my
right.
dosa palta.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Great.
Yes.
So actually, you're so much in love with your dosa palta.
I'll
I
have to
would
make
request
dosas
you
for
to,
all of you now. All are welcome to come over.
yeah, I would request you to click a pic of it and share it on the group. So
You
we
don't
want to
want
have
to
a look
see
at
it.
your dosa palta.
I promise you, you don't want to see it.
but Anila ji, whenever I happen to be with you at your place, na, I would love to have the dosa palta dish from your side.
Most definitely, sir. That's a promise for all of you. You're all welcome to come drop in.
Great.
Right. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Any more questions? If not, we'll bring this session to a close, Shaz. What do you think?
Sure, absolutely. We can.
Everyone has turned
Thank you.
positive now by
Yes.
decluttering.
Thank,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
thank you very much. It was a very good session, really. Thank you.
Thank you for
Okay,
being
so
here.
Thank you,
we
ma'am.
understand the side effects now.
Okay, namaskar. Salam bhai.
Great. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, everyone,
Thank
for being a part of this session. Okay, we come to the end of the session. Have a nice day.
See
Thank
you
you.
Thank you
next week.
so much, ma'am. It was really
Sure.
nice. Take
See
Yep.
care.
you next.